Okay, let's talk about getting photos for your Squarespace website. So it doesn't matter if you're getting a professional photo shoot or if you're just going to do them yourselves, because let's face it, their iPhones have amazing cameras. A lot of times with those devices, and also with just a little bit of filtering, you can make really, really great professional photographs that will get you through until you're able to have a professional photo shoot. Because I know, especially during the pandemic, it's really hard to kind of navigate getting your entire team together or being able to do some of the things like you would like to do. For instance, I can't really do in-person workshops right now, so I'm kind of missing some of those elements on my own website. So being able to use your own iPhone is a great way to kind of supplement that. But obviously, professional photography speaks so highly. It's fantastic. It's a great way to really personalize your site and make sure that you're getting exactly what your message and voice across to your clients and to your potential clients. So, having said that, a lot of people just rush in and think, okay, I just need to get some headshots or I just need to get a couple of pictures of our group. You kind of forget about that the way that a website lays out, we really need to kind of make sure that we take advantage of both the desktop version and also the mobile responsiveness of our websites. So, Squarespace does a fantastic job of doing that for us. However, a lot of times that means that the images might kind of resize and change. For instance, if you're just think about the kind of the layout of a screen, and it will make a little bit more sense to you. On a desktop or a laptop, you're going to have a screen that's a lot more horizontal, a rectangular horizontal screen, versus on a smartphone or even on a tablet, it's probably going to be a little bit more vertical. Definitely on a iPhone or a smartphone, it definitely makes it extremely vertical. So it will cut off any of those images. So for instance, this example, this is just a stock photo that I found, but you can see that it looks really nice as a group banner going across the top of the website, a full bleed banner. However, when you switch it to mobile, it's going to cut off some of the people, and there's really no way around that. I can't make everyone show up in the picture unless I go ahead and just put that image in not as a background, but instead as an actual image here. But then the problem would be, so let me throw that in here really quickly. Image, search for image, should be this one right here. So our problem next would be that when someone looks at mobile, let's get rid of the background banner now. When they look at it on a mobile device, and probably on a tablet as well, but definitely on a mobile device, I'm going to have this image here, which now is a great banner. I can see everyone in it, but I've got this really ugly white space above and below it. So I can either try to fill that with some other content, another background image, or the better bet would be to just get some really good images in the first place that allow you to kind of create this banner image on a mobile device, but then be able to hone in on one specific section. So for instance, on my own site, I have, let's just show you on here. So when I had my last photography shoot done by Casey Photography. She is here in Omaha, but she's fantastic. So she kind of had that vision and knew that that was going to be something that we were going to have to think about. So there are plenty of images of me that are more up close that I can use, for my about page, etc. But she did a good job of taking some that are a little bit more spread out. So for instance, up here at the top, this is a great image to put in as a banner, because I spread it out. I've got this great open space so that, and imagine if this was your group, it'd be the same thing. Maybe your group of people would be over here kind of on the right-hand side, and you would have all of this kind of extra side space or space on both sides that still kind of give this nice aesthetics and feel. I'm just gonna save this really quickly so that we can use it on this site to see what I'm talking about. So once I add this image in as the background, I will have to get rid of that image in the front so that it doesn't conflict. But come on. I'm not a very patient person, in case you haven't noticed that from my other videos. Okay, so we'll save that. I'm going to get rid of this image here and take it away. All right, so now we see that I've got this great banner image. I can put some information over the top of it, my logo, what have you. So it looks great on a mobile device, or I'm sorry, on a desktop or a laptop. And then when we switch to mobile device, it's going to show this middle section of the image. But if I just come in and edit, whoops, not there, I edit the banner, I can change the focal point on that image. So this little round circle is the focal point. That's what's telling Squarespace where the main central portion of the picture is, so that when it switches to mobile, it's going to focus on that area. So if I just move that focal point over to me and hit save, now, again, I still have this nice full bleed image. Looks great on a desktop, but then if I switch to my mobile version, you're going to see me. So I can still have my verbiage, my logo, but it's a lot more central. So you could see how that would be a great way to put your group image in as well. So what happens if you don't have an image of yourself or of your group that's like that? Well, if you have a professional design program like Photoshop or Adobe Illustrator, obviously you can use that. However, we are kind of obsessed with Squarespace here. Or I'm sorry, well, obviously with Squarespace, but with Canva here as well, because Canva really lets you, whether it's your team photo or your own photo, you can quickly and easily take away the background and then kind of recreate that scene that I just showed you. So for instance, this is a picture of me in my kitchen. So I can put this image in and imagine if this was your group, you could just put your entire group in. It really works great if you have a background that's kind of a solid color, ideally a green or like a blue background, because that's ultimately, you've heard of green screen technology, that's kind of what it is. It's chroma keying, which means it just removes, basically you're telling the computer, remove anything green, remove anything black. So ideally, it'd be great if there was a background that was kind of consistent, but it works, you'll see it works just fine, even with my whole kitchen and the messiness behind it. Also keep in mind like your hair color and things like that. If I use the screen that's behind me right now and then try to take the background out of it, I'm probably gonna lose like this big whole chunk of my hair, because with the light shining on it, it blends in with the white background. So think about that. But basically in Canva, I can click on the image, I can say effects, background remover. It will remove all of the background, and then it's also going to leave me a couple of little brushes. So I've got an erase brush and a restore brush where I can kind of try to fine tune any of the pieces that I need to. I find that I really don't even have to do a whole lot with that. So I'm just going to leave it as it is. So there's me just kind of hanging out in the middle of nowhere. And then I could go in and take a photo. For instance, if you had a photo of your entire like office, or if you wanted to do something more abstract, you could do that as well. Here would be your entire team or me standing in front of a green wall. I would just position that to the back. There I am. I could also, I could do photos. I think this is the one that I used to have on my website, was actually just me like in outer space, because that was one of my old themes, and that's actually why I was wearing my unicorn t-shirt, was for that theme. So that right there could be a great banner. So it'd be a really easy way for you to again create that like full bleed, but where you could focus in on your little group or yourself. So that is another option that you can do on your own. If you do have a professional photographer, then just make sure that on your little to-do list, like pictures we need to take, you're going to want to have a few of them that have kind of a bigger background, where maybe you or the group is a little bit smaller, so it's not the main focus. Hope that makes sense. The other thing I want you to think about is all of the other pieces in your website. So we kind of tend to think about, oh, just the big images or just our headshots. There are a lot of other areas in your website where you can completely customize it and make it, the site just look a little bit more kind of go with your branding, or make your users feel more confident in knowing exactly who you are, keep your branding consistent. So for instance, this is one of my clients, one salon here in Nebraska. She's also a hairstylist. But I love it. Sarah has been we made her website, gosh, it's been a couple of years ago, but since then has completely understood and gotten how important photography is. So she actually has scheduled with a local photographer. They quarterly get together and do a photo shoot to create content not only for social media but also for the website. So she's always kind of thinking in her head about things like this is a great large mobile banner. She can zone in on mobile onto whichever piece she wants, and it still doesn't affect the aesthetics of the site. But also, she has used it to create some of these other areas, like the hair, skin. This is an actual picture rather than having to use Stock images, it kind of shows this is actually Michelle doing a facial, and it kind of has that familiarity to it. One thing that I think is great is in her policies. I'm going to move this out of the way. So this was kind of when she started thinking about having to make sure that we have those custom images. She had some very specific things that she wanted to put in with her policies, and it used to just be words. And we realized that words are not nearly as impactful as having an image that kind of reinforces that terminology. Half the time people only read like the top portion of it, so the image really kind of hones in exactly what you're trying to say. So policies for cancellation or rescheduling, this is actually one of them on their phones sitting at the table in the office. So you have that familiarity. I've been there. I know that this is their office. I see the aesthetics of it. It matches their whole branding package. Same thing with the timing. So when you should be there for your appointment. And then this one's great, keeping kiddos safe. So she obviously doesn't want to have a lot of kids running around because there are things like sharp scissors and very kind of delicate tools that either can damage the tools or unfortunately would damage the children. So again, these are her tools, it's her spot, a great way to kind of personalize the site and make it unique and different and keep that branding consistent. So that is what I would kind of consider very important while you're thinking about your website, whether you're building it or rebranding it or as you're continuing to have your site. Think about all of the different areas where images can really impact your website and kind of help to further your message, and then just kind of create a to-do list. I do that with my clients for their social media marketing as well. When you're planning your marketing, you can already have a list of like, oh, I really need a picture of like a dog napping, or I really need a picture of, a sunset. That would go great with this blog I'm thinking about. If you kind of have a running list even in your phone, then when you stumble upon those opportunities, you can super quick, reach out and grab your iPhone and take that image. Or you can have that image ready to go, or that list ready to go when you are ready to meet with your professional photographer, and you can say, I really want a picture that has, this background, and I really need a picture for this particular area. I need a picture of me working with a client. I need a picture of my hands on the keyboard, etc. So you kind of get the idea. I hope that this helps you guys. If you have any other questions, definitely shoot me a message so that I can make you some more instructional videos so that you can keep just killing it and taking your sites to the next level. Thanks a bunch and have a great day.